All right, hey everyone, and this is actually my reaction to a news piece that just came out. I didn't actually see it, I was busy doing other things, but I was told about it. That Disney has just announced a new Disney Plus film, I believe, or a series, I'm not sure, I believe it's a film though, that will be starring Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan, the co-stars of the series, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, will be actually doing a Captain America 4. Wow, I didn't see that coming, and I really didn't see that coming, especially after the last scene in Endgame. I'm gonna give you guys a major spoiler, so if you haven't seen the movie, shut it off now, I'm about to spoil it, where Captain America went back in time and decided he wanted to stay in the 40s and stay with the woman he never got to marry, and finally did. And he passes his shield on to the Falcon, the Anthony Mackie character, and tells him basically make good use of it, And I kind of saw that coming, but I did not see a fourth one coming. Here's why. Let me just get this out of the way and tell you why it's a great idea. But let's get this out of the way. You can drag a series out too far. We all know this. There are a ton of things that have come out that are nothing more than shameless money grabs. We've seen it, we don't like it. Some series just need to end. They just do. But I think a Captain America 4 is a brilliant idea, and I'll tell you why. Let's backtrack just a little bit. For me, one of my favorite movies was actually the whole Captain America series. I absolutely loved Chris Evans' portrayal. I think he did a fantastic job. And what I liked is kind of watching him in the first movie, going as just this scrawny little kid who just wanted to do his part in the First World War. And by the way, they did a great job tying in the World War with the actual historicity. They did a really good job. And he's, signed up for the military like 12 times, but they keep rejecting him because he's got asthma and he's got all these other issues. But he just never quits, and he really wants to do it. And of course, he gets into the whole program and everything and becomes Captain America and helps everybody. That was a really good movie, okay? Great World War I movie, fantastically well done. Okay, the sequel, The Winter Soldier, right? In the previous, by the way, I'm about to spoil everything. If you haven't seen it, I'm spoiling everything. Just know that. So in the sequel, he's hunting down the rogue agent known as the Winter Soldier, codenamed, only to find out towards the end it was his presumed dead buddy, Bucky. We all remember Bucky. I don't remember what his actual name was, Bucky Williams, that's right. Who always stuck up for him and found out that he had actually been experimented upon and turned into the rogue agent. And that wasn't even it. I mean, it went into so many different directions, like America destroying S.H.I.E.L.D. in it, literally bringing it down because the Nazis hadn't gone away in the World War. Oh, no. They just infected the American government and just slowly built themselves sleeper cells. And they had essentially taken over S.H.I.E.L.D. completely. So he actually just took it upon himself to bring the whole thing down. I didn't see it coming. And then Civil War. Oh, wow. I think it was the most expensive movie they had made up to date. And literally him having to fight against Iron Man was pretty great. I mean, so it took place after the Avengers 2, and there's a point to this, just bear with me just for a second. There's a point, there's a very good point, but you need to understand everything that went on before, where he essentially decides that the government has no right to sit around and tell people what to do, because they had signed the Sokovia Accords, and the government said, all right, you want to be a vigilante? Fine. You got to submit all this paperwork, and you work for us now. Okay, you do what we tell you, you go where we tell you, when we tell you. There's all that classic scene, where he's sitting in the boardroom and he throws down the paper and says, this isn't freedom, all right? This is tyranny, and I won't submit to this. Wow, that was actually a surprisingly good movie, and seeing him fight against Iron Man, that was quite something. And of course, after Endgame, basically they wrote him out. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier took a dramatically different section. As the Winter Soldier, Bucky is still alive, and he's still trying to, he seems to have, I don't know, mild PTSD. Like, he's not crazy or anything, but he still remembers a lot of the missions he's been sent on. He tries to make everything right. He was supposed to forget everything, but he didn't. And of course, he teams up with the Falcon, and they share the role. That's what made it so good. They both teamed up, and they're kind of both Captain America. So there's one awesome scene where they're on the train, and on this train, it's a long story, but they're both using the shield. Like, the Falcon will use it in the air for a second, he'll toss it over to the soldier, and he'll use it. I loved watching the balance there. So what would a Captain America 4 look like? Okay, this is why it's a really, really good idea. Because I said all that to come to this. As great as Chris Evans did, and he'll always be Captain America to me, I love the idea of Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan teaming up for a movie Because in my opinion, Sebastian Stan actually had the best character. He did a little bit better to me than the Falcon. I know everybody loves the Flash and all. He did a little bit better because he's much more three-dimensional character. I like the fact he's a little more solid, just fist-to-fist fighting. But the reason is because this is supposed to be a movie going in a very different direction, where this is them questioning what does justice look like. You know, in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier sort of ended on an odd note as the government's basically fully taking over everything and saying, we're going to solve the crime for you. You know, we're going to create a unified police force, a world police force, and we'll police every area. We've got this. Just submit all your identification with us, submit all this to us. We'll handle it. And it goes in this massive electronic database, long story. And of course, obviously, our two title heroes don't think that's such a good idea. And that's supposed to be what the fourth movie goes into. In short, due to the fact these are two legitimately great actors with two legitimately great backstories for their characters, mixed in with what was a legitimately great setup, for those three reasons, I think this next movie is a very good idea. And I don't think they're just dragging it out. I think this actually has something legitimately great to say. For those reasons, I think it's a good movie. I'm looking forward to it. How about you guys?